Breaking news. Israel-Hamas conflict escalates dramatically. In a sudden and unprecedented escalation, Palestinian militants launched the largest attack on Israel in recent memory. Thousands of rockets rained down from Gaza, with militants crossing the border, taking hostages, and initiating a coordinated assault by land, sea, and air. Israel's prime minister declared the nation at war as the Israeli military retaliated with strikes against key Hamas targets in Gaza. The Israel Defense Forces IDF are currently conducting house-to-house searches in the southern regions near Gaza, aiming to clear the area of Hamas militants who infiltrated during the day. The casualties are mounting. Approximately 300 Israelis, predominantly civilians, have been confirmed dead, with another 1,590 wounded. On the Palestinian side, at least 232 have been killed, with over 1,697 injured. Reports indicate that Israeli soldiers and civilians have been captured and taken into Gaza. Additionally, Israeli hostages are being held by militants in at least 2 Israeli towns. Hamas has issued a statement indicating that these attacks are just the beginning and that they are gearing up for a prolonged battle. Meanwhile, Israel's president has accused Iran of orchestrating the attacks, a claim that has added another layer of complexity to the already tense situation. The international community is watching closely, with many calling for an immediate cessation of hostilities. The situation remains fluid, with both sides showing no signs of backing down. For more detailed updates, stay tuned to our channel. The recent escalation in the Israel-Hamas conflict has raised concerns about its potential impact on the global economy. Here's a summarized analysis based on the information gathered: oil prices and the global economy. The current situation draws parallels with October 1973, when a surprise attack on Israel led to rising oil prices. However, the global economy is not expected to face another Arab oil embargo that would drastically increase oil prices. Despite this, the potential for prolonged high oil prices remains, especially depending on Israel's response to Hamas and Iran's involvement. Oil market dynamics. Unlike 1973, when oil demand was surging and spare production capacity was exhausted, today's oil market is different. Consumption growth has moderated, and there's a shift towards electric vehicles. Moreover, countries like Saudi Arabia and the UAE have significant spare capacity to influence prices. Potential oil price increase. While OPEC nations aren't aggressively trying to boost prices, a rise of 10–20% is plausible, pushing prices just above $100 a barrel. If Israel believes Hamas acted on Tehran's instructions, oil prices could surge even higher, especially if Iran retaliates against Israel or the US. Impact on Iranian oil production. The US has recently overlooked the increase in Iranian oil exports, which bypassed American sanctions. However, due to the conflict, the US might enforce these sanctions again, potentially pushing oil prices beyond $100 a barrel. Beneficiaries of the Middle East oil crisis. Russia stands to benefit from any Middle East oil crisis. If the US enforces sanctions against Iran, Russia could gain both market share and higher prices. Venezuela might also benefit if the US relaxes sanctions to alleviate market pressure. Diplomatic repercussions. The anticipated Saudi-Israeli diplomatic deal for 2024 might be jeopardized. The Hamas-Israel conflict also impacts the Saudi-Iranian rapprochement, which was previously seen as a bearish factor for oil. U.S. Strategic Petroleum Reserve. The U.S. can tap into its Strategic Petroleum Reserve to mitigate the impact on gasoline prices. Even though it's at its lowest level in 40 years, it's still sufficient to handle another crisis. In conclusion, while the immediate economic implications of the Israel-Hamas conflict might not mirror the drastic oil crisis of 1973, there are several potential repercussions for the global oil market and, by extension, the global economy. The situation remains fluid, and the actual economic impact will depend on the duration and intensity of the conflict, as well as the geopolitical responses from major global players. It's essential to note that the situation is fluid, and any analysis is based on the current available information. The geopolitical landscape can change based on various factors, including diplomatic breakthroughs, changes in leadership, or unforeseen events. Sources: Bloomberg, The Atlantic, Barron's,